Hi there and welcome back to Save with Crypto. Okay, so last night we had the Fed rate decision and it was exactly as expected. It was 0.25 and that meant the market did not a lot really. So it looks like the increase was priced in really, because we've not really done much since then. I've just put this vertical line here at 7 p.m. last night, which is when it all happened. So at that point, there was a bit of indecision in that half hour, and then it went back up a little bit. So yeah, pretty dull really. Not quite what I was expecting, to be honest. I was expecting a bit more violence, to be honest, but didn't really get that. If we look at that with Quadzilla, you'll see that what it did there was it actually rather beautifully, actually on that decision, actually came down to this retracement level here, and it did go a little bit lower at one point, but I think you'll agree that's rather beautiful. And if I hadn't have been out, I would have traded that, which is a shame because that would have been a 1.67% move up until where we are now. So 10x leverage, you could have made 16% there. But I didn't want to be looking at my phone. I didn't want to be stressing. I didn't want to be doing anything like that. I just wanted to be out with a mate having a few beers, to be honest. So what have we got to look forward to now? Well, there is still this level down here at 111,670, which is probably likely to get filled at some point. So we'll have to wait and see if that does come down to there. I think for the moment, I'm not particularly going to trade Bitcoin until I see some movement that gives a clear direction, because at the moment it just seems to be kind of stuck in a range again. Now what you can see here is one of these mid-range crosses where the convergence band crosses over in the middle of its range, and that is normally a very positive sign if it's on a fairly high time frame. So the 1 hour looks kind of okay, but I may well have missed that movement now, so I'm going to wait. Now Solana was one that seemed to come out quite good from the interest rate decision, because that was the time there where that white line is, and the price has come up beautifully since then. Unfortunately, I was very into the idea of de-risking, so I came out of my trade, and I kind of missed out on what was like a 4.5% move. But once again, I wasn't going to be in front of the chart, so yeah, I didn't want to do that. Now over in the Discord, I did notice this as well, where maff was saying Solana USDT on the 12-minute, that massive bearish order block that turned into bullish support. So the price has just bounced along the top, dipping into the open orders, now making another attempt to break out on the up. So I think the thing to do is probably wait for a bit of a pullback in the market and then think about re-longing some of these. Now, fairly late last night, Cryptic here did post a couple of setups. One was this potential long on Atom. Well, I think with this one, I'd probably wait myself until I see something like these green backgrounds here before entering a long. There's also this link one here. Well, personally, I'd probably wait for a pullback to here at like 15.669, just to be sure of getting a good entry. But anyway, those setups are there if you need them. Cryptic does post quite a few of these. Now, I do want to look at CRO as well, because we were talking about this on the live stream yesterday, where we were seeing some conflicting signals. So you'd think, oh, okay, well, it's going to go up now. Now, the problem is, we can see what the problem is. You got the yellow and the green EMAs crossing over, really quite horribly bearish.
Yeah.
Which is not
there's a teeny bearish retracement in there, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
And it flagged up that downward-facing red triangle, which is kind of its go short, like tied to the retracement. Yeah. So that's when it's pretty confident that the price is going to be dropping from there. So yeah, there's definite divergence there between really the trend and the momentum.
And that was round about here. Now, since then, as I suspected, the price did come down a little bit further. But then what started to happen was the convergence band started to move away from the very oversold area and above the 20% line. At which point now, I'd probably say that these EMAs are probably going to cross back bullish. Now, if that happens, that should be very good, because that's what they did here in August when we were at 14 cents. Yet again, I am bullish on the price of CRO. And I'm going to stick my neck out a bit here and actually say that the bottom was actually that wick there, down to 22.3 cents. So I think for now, yet again, I think this is a trade I'm looking at. I'm probably looking to long CRO. Now, do be careful, because what we also discussed yesterday is this area here. There's a thingy there, wasn't there? There's a, what do you call it? Fair value gap, or a void, or a inefficiency.
A black hole for the price to fall into.
Yeah. It's. I mean, there is history in this price, but it's back from like 2020, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a good example as well of, like, something where it's, you think, okay, well, we're definitely going to go long now, but really the EMAs are not saying that. So I'd probably now switch to something like the 1 hour time frame and see what's happening there. And you can see here that we've got a bullish cross on the EMAs here. Now we have got this retracement line here. So if you are looking for an entry, and this is not financial advice at all, and this is like a weird asset to trade because it just doesn't do what you want it to do. But when it does move, it moves really well. But seriously, not financial advice. Now, I do think this green background here on the 9 hour time frame was pretty useful, actually. So I think I'd like to see that for some more assets. So what I'm going to do is set an alert for a different watch list that I've got. So I've got this one here called the top 200 crypto. And I'm going to set an alert there for the entire watch list for Quadzilla, looking for a green background, 9 hour time frame. And I'm going to see this once per bar because that candle's only going to close every 9 hours. So I want to see it as soon as it happens. So I'm going to call it 9 hour green background. And then I'll be notified if that green candle appears on any asset in the top 200 crypto. Now then, yesterday we were talking about the Discord. Now people were asking how to join the Discord. And what I've done now is I've set up a redirect link. So go to savewithcrypto.org/discord and you'll be redirected to a form where you can ask to join the Discord server. If you like the sound of that, please do give the video a great big fat like. And while you're down there, please make sure you are subscribed and you've got the notifications set to all. Any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And above all, tell your friends.